Hi, my name is Hugh McIsaac. I'm a biology professor at the Great Lakes Institute for Environmental Research at the University of Windsor. I'm also the director of the Canadian Aquatic Invasive Species Network. I've been asked what would happen if we didn't do anything about invasive species in Ontario. Well, what we see globally is a slow reduction in the number of native species for a variety of reasons. Habitat reduction is the main one, habitat loss. But in addition to that, invaders may also displace native species. So over time, we lose our distinctive species and we introduce the same group of invasive species from around the world. Essentially rats in terrestrial ecosystems, zebra mussels in aquatic ecosystems are two good examples. So the systems around the world become more and more homogeneous, which I think is something that most people wouldn't want to see happen. At the same time, our ability to manage ecosystems may also tremendously be affected by this. If we look at the Great Lakes, for example, we've had an influx of about 180 species from other parts of the world over the last 200 years. Some of these appear not to do anything. Some of them may appear to be beneficial, but others are going to be harmful, and we cannot predict in advance which ones are going to be beneficial and which ones are going to be harmful. And when you have harmful ones like zebra mussels, quagga mussels, round gobies, spiny water fleas, when these species come into the ecosystems, they can disrupt them tremendously, and that could impact our ability to forecast fisheries. And so if we're either out for commercial fishes or for sport fishing, we may be adversely affected by the introduction of these invaders in our systems. If we look at terrestrial ecosystems, in some cases, some of these invaders come in and they appear to be innocuous. They're present, but they appear not to be doing anything. But if you give them enough time, over time, some of the invader populations will grow to very large size, and they can be very detrimental to the environment. In Ontario right now, we're battling two serious beetle pests, the emerald ash borer and the Asian longhorn beetle. The emerald ash borer started out in the Windsor-Detroit area, and it's now mushroomed out across much of southwestern Ontario. The Asian longhorn beetle is primarily around the airport in Toronto. Both of these species will kill deciduous trees, and if we lose our deciduous trees, we're going to lose the carbon sequestration that those trees do as they grow. We will lose the food that they provide to many animal species, the shelter that they provide, and in terms of homeowners, if you have these trees on your property and they get killed off by either one of these beetles, it can be very expensive to remove them and to replace them. Your real estate value will fall. So there's a lot of direct and indirect effects caused by invasive species that are hard to predict in advance. And the safest thing to do is to try and prevent the invaders from coming in the first place so that you reduce your exposure to these types of adverse impacts that these species may have.